All right, this is crazy. At 31 years old, our next guest is already celebrating 20 years in the culinary industry. The Venezuela native started cooking as a child, became a television chef at 14, opened his first restaurant at 16, moved to Houston at 20, and has spent the last decade building one of the city's most fascinating culinary careers. Now he's bringing a new French-inspired cafe, bakery, and garden bar to Market Square Park. The restaurant is called Petite Lucie. Chef Omar Pereney joins me with a plate full of details. Good morning.
And you roll those R's just chef's kiss.
Right, chef's kiss. I'm rolling those R's. You know, I used to spend, we talked about this before, I used to spend my summers in Venezuela, and you are from Caracas, and
That's
I used to,
Caracas,
right? Yeah.
exactly.
So
nobody calls me Pereney anymore.
Yeah, Pereney. Well, I'm going to call you Omar Pereney.
Thanks
But
for having me.
Absolutely love the country, the vibrancy of the country, the food, all of it. Go through your memories of growing up in Venezuela in those early years.
Well, I grew up in Caracas. Caracas was a very, very colorful culinary scene. Like, I just remember being in like an incredibly culinary landscape. So I started kind of like a mascot of fine dining restaurants when I was 12, 11 years old.
Yeah, raised by your parents, especially your mom, right? But you're often home alone after school, as a lot of us were, right?
So they both work in tech.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, my sister and I were alone quite often at home, and I found myself cooking for me and my sister.
Yeah, and your mom would leave the Post-it notes?
Yes.
And
yes.
what were on those Post-it notes?
It was like reheating instructions, you know, how to cook this, how to make the rice, how to cook the pasta. My mom is a very, very, very special woman.
Yeah. All right. So your introduction into the industry, it's one thing to do it at home, but to do it outside of the home, you just got curious about cooking.
This is a very special time in my life. I get goosebumps just talking about it. So I'm 11, about to turn 12, and they opened this fine dining restaurant in Caracas where Chef Sumito Esteves, he's like super famous in Venezuela, and I want him to take me to the restaurant. So they take me there, and I say, I want to meet the chef. And I'm just like, just a guest at the restaurant. And I said, well, I want to meet the chef. The chef wasn't there. And then the restaurant owner came by. He's like, hey, everything okay? I said, no, I'm upset. The chef isn't here. He was cooking my food. So he goes, well, that's not how things work, kid. But hey, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I'll show you the restaurant around. And I said, hey, I want to be a cook. So he gave me his business card. He said, you can come cook here whenever you want.
And you ended up having an internship,
yes.
right?
So I started that Friday, and it's been 20 years.
Yeah. And you love the vibrancy of the whole restaurant scene. Most of us as consumers see the front of the house. We don't see the back of the house. And it takes all of that to make it come together.
Well, first of all, I think life is about service. I think we probably share that belief. And the kitchen is how I found, my way into this world. So I started in the bakery side, but now we just do everything from, the barista. I can be a bartender, I can be a barista, I can be a cook, I can be a pastry chef, I can be a TV co-host. No, I'm just kidding.
No, yes, you absolutely can. All right, and you did become that. You became a TV star, a teen TV star, 14 years old, hosting a TV show, Yo Cocinero.
That's right. Yeah, Yo Cocinero. It was a TV show that I started when I was 14 years old. I would go to Buenos Aires and shoot this once a year, and I had a year's long worth of episodes. So and I'm just teaching kids and just people at home how to cook, how to make it simple. And the thing that I say at the end is like, if I can do it, you can do it. If I cook, you cook.
Yeah, you like how to make it simple. That doesn't look like a simple dish, but yeah, you made it. But that's when it comes down to cooking, though. That's so many people are like, oh, I can't cook. If you have a recipe in front of you and you start there, just do what it tells you to do and watch what happens, and then after that, you start adding the things that you love and creating and making it your own.
Especially on the savory side. On this side, on
bakery's
the pastry,
different.
You want to follow those instructions.
I remember interviewing Bobby Flay and said, what's the one thing you can't do that you wish you could do? And he said, bake. Because baking is about science, right? There's a little science in there.
Next time you see Bobby, tell him I want to make a croissant competition with him.
They should have a Beat Bobby Flay croissant.
The croissant
all right.
chapter.
Yeah. Speaking of croissants, all right. So you opened your first restaurant at 16, as we mentioned. You taught at Le Cordon Bleu in Mexico, and then you made the move to Houston. What brought you to Houston? Which I think for a lot of people who don't know Houston, they're surprised to see the diversity here and that we are the foodie capital of this country.
That's right. So I was transplanted from Mexico to open a fine dining seafood restaurant in the Galleria in the corner of Post Oak and San Felipe. And that was the last executive chef job that I had. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then after that, it kind of like life took a turn.
Yeah.
And I started learning about restaurant consulting. I later acquired a restaurant consulting firm and just kept doing consulting, opened a bunch of restaurants for
And we
clients.
certainly know Houston is a place to be for that. And of
That's
course, you can
right.
open anywhere in the country, but especially here in Houston.
I did a lot of private cooking. That's how I ended up being personal chef for President Bush Sr. and his wife.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, after, being a chef, then consulting.
And you
I
didn't
just
make
thought-
anything with broccoli in it for him, did you?
It's funny that you say that.
Oh,
I
you
almost
did
got
you
shut
sneak?
down a couple times for trying to sneak in broccoli. I wasn't around to know these things.
So a lot of people who don't know, he is famous for a soundbite where he goes, I don't like broccoli, I will not like broccoli, I will never like broccoli.
I learned that after I tried to trespass with broccoli in the house.
Broccoli. All right, which now you're at Petite Lucie. Tell us the inspiration behind this restaurant cafe.
Yes, so Petite Lucie, first of all, Lucie, it's a fictional French girl who loves outdoors, who loves, is very curious, who loves celebrating, who loves to slow down. And we thought having something in the middle of downtown that allowed people to actually slow down. It's like a little oasis.
It's almost like a picnic out
That's
there.
right.
Yes.
So that's what we brought you, a picnic set up here and all the French vibes. So we have great pastries. And I'm sure you're going to have a taste
Yes,
of
I
it.
am.
Twice baked almond cardamom.
Is that this
You
one right
can,
here?
yes.
A piece of that one.
You can certainly find what I consider the best chicken salad croissant sandwich you're ever gonna have. And then we make this wonderful croissant in like square format. So they just kind of peel off as opposed to, cut it in half.
This is ridiculous. It's just so good.
You're so sweet.
How do you say ridiculous in Espanol?
Ridículo.
Ridiculo.
But you have to roll that.
Ridiculo. I can't
Ridiculo.
have an almond in my mouth. Ridiculo is what this is right here. This is so good and so buttery, and that's that science that we talk about, right?
I want to
Of making
invite
it right.
I want to invite you and all Houstonians to come out and visit us in Market Square. It's such a special place. It's also
Yeah.
the most historical piece of real estate in the city. I don't know if you knew this. And there used to be the Houston City Hall, and it's just a very special place to just sit outside and enjoy the moment. You're gonna have a bite of chicken salad.
All right, I'm a bite into
it's gonna
chicken
make
salad.
my
While you
day.
do, tell me about this drink over here.
Okay, so we have a full espresso program, great matcha drinks, great coffee. We got our coffee beans from Tenfold Coffee. It's a local roaster that we absolutely love. It's our first client in the pastry wholesale side. And then we have a full bar. So if you guys like wine, rosé, cocktails, we'd love to meet you there. We'll save you your seat. We're in Market Square in 301 Milam. And please come see us. You look fabulous.
I love what you do with food here. It's like we know a croissant, but this is a different tasting croissant. We know a chicken salad sandwich. This is a different chicken salad sandwich. And then what's this dish right over here finally?
That is a smoked salmon avocado toast.
This is so good. All right. For all those people, as I said to the author earlier, who have dreams of doing something, and so many people say, I love to cook, I'd love to have a restaurant. It doesn't have to be a restaurant. As you just mentioned, it could be the catering. It could be doing special events. There's a way to do it without having a full-blown restaurant.
I'm so glad you said that. I am obsessed with this industry, hospitality, because it's one of the very few industries, and I've said the same word again, sorry. It's one of those places or things you can do where you can go from the dish room to the boardroom.
Yeah.
And I did just that, and I think that's very special. So yeah, I invite anybody to open a restaurant, to open a cafe, and if you have questions, always just give me a call. Happy to chat.
Oh,
yeah?
you're so sweet. Yeah. Enjoy
I'm
the process.
I'm
right?
on to my second restaurant, and our bakery is also growing. So we're very happy to be in Houston.
Yeah, I'm very happy to have you right here, right now, with this chicken salad sandwich. Thank
love
you so
you,
much,
dear.
Omar. It's so great to see you again. Oh my gosh, me gusta mucho. And by the way, when I first met you, you were a little younger. Now you're like muy guapo. Yes, okay.
Thank you.
For more
I'm gonna take
information
that.
on Petite Lucie, visit greatdayhouston.com and we will connect you. I started to say Great Day Houston. I'm gonna roll those R's all day. Okay.